Hey guys, welcome back to Nurse Lexi. Literally the first time that I'm saying that, and I'm actually a registered nurse. So by the title of this video, you guys know that I passed my NCLEX and I passed it in 75 questions. So if you want to know what I used to study, how I studied, what I did day to day leading up to NCLEX, just go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so first things first, if you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down there. Also hit the bell so you can get notified every time I upload. And of course, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So, down to business, NCLEX. What did I use? So basically, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 3 resources that I used to study for NCLEX. The first one was a 3-day live review that my school gave us the option of going to. The thing is, it wasn't free, but we paid for it out of our tuition. So it's like you had to pay for it because you have to pay the tuition. So if you don't go, it's kind of like you wasted your money, you know? So basically, a lot of us went. So I went to the 3-day live review, and it was hosted by ATI. And basically, this lady, her job is to go to different schools and prepare the students for NCLEX. And it has like this money back guarantee, all this stuff, 3 days of going over every section, going over how to answer multiple choice, select all, even the questions that you have to order, because there are a lot of different NCLEX style questions that you guys are going to see. So it was pretty good. I mean, she went over everything that we could get tested on as far as the subjects like mental health, maternity, pediatrics, delegation, nursing management, things like that, like all those different topics. She basically broke it down for us. She gave us this calendar to use to study. So I did get a lot of good resources out of that. I also got this book, which I used before I purchased UWorld and Saunders. So I used this book for like a month on and off, not like everyday studying type of thing, but I did skim through it and do some of the questions and like relearn some things. If that 3-day class wasn't part of my tuition, I would not have gone and paid for it. I think that it was helpful, but it wasn't what like I really used to study. So there was that. And then I honestly didn't start studying for NCLEX until like a month and a half after that class, because with school, work, practicum, and then I was moving, I just had a lot going on. So honestly, the day that I got my ATT, that the email that tells you that you can choose your date to sit for NCLEX, that was the day that I started studying. And I scheduled my NCLEX for 3 weeks out, so I basically have 3 weeks to bust my ass and finally start studying. So I kind of stopped using this book, even though it was pretty helpful for the meantime, and it was free, like it was included in my tuition. So I used it, but I stopped using it once I was about to really start studying. And I got this book from Elsevier. So everybody knows about the Saunders Comprehensive Review book for NCLEX-RN. This book has everything you need to know for NCLEX. Look how thick. Literally, it has all the sections. It has what to do before the exam, how the exam is. I think it also has stuff about setting up a study schedule. It has everything: fundamentals, peds, maternity, mental health. Literally everything that could be on the NCLEX is in this book. And so this is resource number 2. And resource number 3 is UWorld. So throughout nursing school, at clinicals, we would always ask the nurses, like, what do you guys use? I think 95% of the time they said they use UWorld and they passed on it first time. So I was not gonna buy UWorld because I'm so cheap, y'all. I just am so cheap. But I basically was like, you know what? I need it to feel comfortable enough to, you know, to take this test and feel like I'm gonna pass. And I'm investing in myself and my future, blah, blah, blah. So I spent $149 on the 60-day Q Bank that comes with 2,000 questions and 1 assessment. I would have bought the 30-day one because my test was 3 weeks out, so I really only needed 30 days. But I really wanted an assessment, and the 30-day one does not come with an assessment. So I bought the 60-day one, $149, you know, really not bad for something that you're going to use to take the most important test of your life. So I went and purchased UWorld, and then I had Saunders, and that's what I used. So let me tell you guys what I did like day to day. So I made a Quizlet that had all of the normal values. It had your normal hemoglobin, hematocrit, RBCs, WBCs, INR, PTT, everything, electrolytes. It had all the normal values that I needed. I made a Quizlet for that, just from the material, like from nursing school, and I went over that Quizlet. I tried to do it every day. Realistically, I probably looked at it like every other day. So I made that, and I wanted to really make sure that I knew everything. So I would start my study session with looking over that Quizlet, making sure I got everything right, starring the ones I didn't get right, all that good stuff. Then I would open up my UWorld. I would make my own test, because you know how you can make a test on UWorld. And in the beginning, I would say my first week, every day I focused on a different subject. So the first day I focused on fundamentals. Second day I focused on pharmacology. Third day I focused on pediatrics and maternity, and so on and so forth. So for the first week, I just went subject by subject to see what was my weaker area, which my weakest area was pharmacology. Surprise, surprise, just pharmacology is not my thing. So I would answer those questions every day, and the questions that I got wrong, and even the ones I got right, basically I would copy and paste the rationales onto a Word document, because even if I got it right, if I really didn't know the subject, like if I just guessed and I got it right, I really wanted to understand why the answer was right. I ended up making a Word document of all my UWorld rationales, and by the end it was 38 pages. So just like really quick, so yeah, like literally all the rationales, and I color coded it by like pharmacology, maternity, adult health, and then the last one was mental health. So I would copy and paste those rationales into that Word doc, and I would read over that Word doc the following day to make sure that, you know, because I didn't want to just read a rationale and then forget about it. I wanted to really read it over and over and over and make sure that I understood it. And that meant reading it every day. But let me tell you guys, when it got past like 20 pages, I was not reading that every day. I was probably reading it every couple of days, because it was just, it took me like almost an hour, 2 hours just to read the rationales and then do my Quizlet and then have to do 75 to 100 questions. So it kind of got insane, but I tried to read over it. I definitely read over it a few days before my test just to make sure that I knew it. So I used UWorld, and like I said, the first week I went subject by subject each day, but then the last 2 weeks I really just did 75 questions of anything. So I just selected all the subjects and all the topics, and just 75 questions and see what they would throw at me. I really like UWorld because of the rationales. They give you the education behind it. They really break it down for you, and then they kind of summarize it at the end in like one sentence that you can copy and paste and just make sure that you know. So I think UWorld is really it. And if there were things that I didn't really understand even still after reading the rationale, or if I just wanted to make sure that I really understood it, that's when I would go to Saunders. So I would, like, let's say I'm doing maternity and it's just not clicking, I would go to the maternity section in Saunders, like for example, and read over the fetal heart rates. They have so much information in here. And then I would do a couple of Saunders practice questions and then read their rationales and then see if I was understanding it. So the thing is, I prefer UWorld questions over the Saunders book questions. I think UWorld questions are more like what was actually on the NCLEX as far as like the style of the question. Everyone always asks, is UWorld harder than NCLEX? I think that UWorld is a little bit harder than NCLEX, I will admit. And that was kind of a good thing because I got so used to UWorld. By the time I took my NCLEX, I did over 1,000 questions, which is good because I wanted to hit more than 1,000. I think I ended up doing like 1,200. And the setup is the same. Like the UWorld screen looks like the NCLEX screen, which I think is really, really clutch because it adds like another level of comfort and kind of takes away your anxiety because you're used to like that screen setup. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did. So I used ATI in the beginning, then I bought UWorld, 75 questions a day. Definitely learn the rationales, make like a rationale document, QUIZLET for all your normals because you are expected to know the normals, and then use the Saunders book for reinforcement and for some extra practice questions. This book also has an assessment Oh yeah, the assessment. Okay. This book has an assessment, but I didn't use it. I used the UWorld assessment, and I took that 1 week before my NCLEX. So I took that a week out, literally 7 days before my NCLEX, and it told me that I had a very high chance of passing. That really did ease my anxiety a bit. I felt like, okay, then I must be on the right track. I must be doing, you know, what I'm doing. And then that last week, I tried to go really hard. I didn't go as hard as I wanted to because there was a hurricane coming, and just like panic, go get gas, go buy groceries, shutters, everything. So I didn't study as much as I wanted to the week up, like the week leading up to my NCLEX, but I must have been doing something right with UWorld and Saunders to have passed. So basically, my test stopped at 75 questions, and I was nervous, I was shook, but it doesn't really matter how many questions you get as long as you pass. I know people that have gotten 265 and have passed, you know, and I know people that have gotten 265 and have failed. So it really doesn't matter. Whatever you get, just study beforehand so that you put yourself in the best position to pass, and then wait for your scores. I got my scores literally 24 hours after. So again, if you have not watched that video, definitely watch it. So definitely educate yourself before the NCLEX on like the type of test that it is, the fact that it is adaptive. So if you keep seeing the same type of questions, that kind of means you're getting it wrong. Like for example, I was seeing a lot of mental health questions and I was like, mental health is just haunting me. But yeah, familiarize yourself with the different subjects that you could get tested on. That was one really good thing that I liked about the ATI live review, that she did that for us so that I didn't have to go do the research myself. She literally gave that to us. But you can do it. The NCLEX is a beast, and it's nerve-wracking, and it's not easy. I know I said that UWorld questions are a little harder. That does not mean that the NCLEX is easy. It's not an easy test. It's like the most important test of your life so far. So study hard, and please ask me questions if you have any down below. And just be on the lookout for more information, updates on my life. I know you guys see like a different background. A lot has changed since I finished nursing school. So stay tuned for more about that stuff. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.